Hello and welcome to the second introduction to R video. In this video, I will be showing you how to run some of the most basic commands in R, as well as how to open a CSV file. So to begin, one of the most basic things that you can do in R is just regular arithmetic commands. So for example, if I wanted to find 4 plus 5, that'll output 9. And then we can do that with subtraction as well. So 4 minus 5, negative 1. 4 times with an asterisk, 5 is 20. And then 4 divided with a slash is 0.8. Okay, so if you can also take the square root of a number. So for example, if I wanted to take the square root of 16, that should give us 4. And then 4 to the second power is going to be 16. So we can use these commands with data as well, or variables that we have created. So to make a variable, it's pretty simple. So say we want to create a variable called x. We'll put down x and then create a little arrow, and then say we want that to be the value of 20. So that'll show you on this pane right here that the value of, or that variable x has been assigned to the value 20. So from here on out, if you want to call on 20, you can just put down x. So for example, 4 plus x is 24. If you want to expand on that a little bit, let's say we want to create a variable called y, and we want that to be another number. So for example, let's say 15. Y is 15. So if we want to then create another variable that is the sum of x plus y, we have z is 35. So as you can see, we can do a lot of different things just with the variables and arithmetic commands themselves. But if we really want to expand on that, we can upload some data from like our computer or even within R itself. So I'm going to show you how to import a CSV file next. So from here, if you want to import a CSV file, there are a couple ways to do that. So go to import dataset from text base, and this will take you to all of your files on your computer. So I have one in this folder that's going to be down here called zip code data. So I'm going to open that. It'll take you to this screen here. We can rename it to make it a little bit shorter. I'm just going to call it zip. And then I want to add in headings. So as you see the bolded values right here, that's where the headings would be. And I want to add those in. So here we have the column names, which are now the heading. And then from here, we want to make sure that if you have row names, make sure to add those in. And we want the separator to be comma, because our file is a CSV file, a comma separated value file. So now we want to import this. And it'll show you in the variable screen that the data has been named zip, and this is the data over here. So we're going to be using this in upcoming videos and playing around with it a little bit more. But that is one of the ways to import a CSV file. Another way to do that is, let's see, so we want to import another data set so that we can, just so that we can see what can be done with two data sets at a time. So here we can go to, we want to name the data just to make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to call this one mouse. And we're going to use the command read.csv, put a comma there, or parentheses there, and then our quotation marks. And then from here, we want to go to our files. Come on. And find where that file is that you're looking for. So this one's in here. And then left click or right click on the data, on the file that you want from your file folder. And then open properties. So from here, we're going to copy this and paste it into our console. And then from here, we see that this file, this file is in this folder, and it's called mouse ggplot.csv. So we're going to input, we have to input the entire file path essentially. So ggplot2 and then mouse.csv. And then another thing we want to do is make sure that the slashes here, there are double of those in each of these sections. So we have the whole file path with double slashes, and then our folder name and our file name at the end. So mouse, arrow, read.csv, and then the file path. So click enter, and now we have another data set that has been uploaded a different way, essentially. So here it is. And if you just click on these datas, it'll show you, it'll bring you to the screen that shows you what your data looks like. Okay, so if you wanted to see, there's another way to see your data, or just to see what the top of your data looks like, make sure that everything has been uploaded correctly, is you can write out head and then the name of your data. So head mouse will show you just the top 6 rows of the data that you're looking at. So if I wanted to do that with head zip, that'll show you, it's a lot, but it'll show you the top six rows for all of the columns. So now that we have the data uploaded, I can show you how to find some of the summary statistics of said data. So say I wanted to find the mean of, let's find the mean of the supermarkets column. So you would put mean, parentheses, the name of your data, which in this case is zip, and then a $, and then your column name. So the column name is supermarkets, and make sure that it looks exactly how it looks in your console. So mean, zip, $, supermarkets. So the syntax essentially is just mean, your data name, $, and then your column name if you wanted to find the mean of a certain column. So that would, the mean is outputted 3.4 in this case. So if you wanted to find the median, for example, of, let's find another column. Let's do median age. So the median of the median age. So zip, $, med_age. Okay, so that one didn't work out because we already have the median there. So let's do the median of zip, $, TOTP, total population count, 7,127. So essentially for any of the summary statistics that we want to find, mean, median, there's also standard deviation of zip, $. Let's do, so standard deviation. We can also find the max and the minimum. So max of, let's do supermarkets again. So zip, $, supermarkets, and then the minimum as well. So zip, $, supermarkets. All right, so the minimum is 0 there. Now that's all well and good if you just want to find one value at a time. But if you want to see all of those values together, you could do summary zip, and then if you just want to find the summary of a column, supermarkets. And this will show you basically the 5 numbers that you need for a box plot. So the minimum, the first quartile, the median, the mean, the third quartile, and the max. So let's see. That'll show you the summary statistics. We want to see the summary statistics of, let's do the whole of mouse. So if we were looking at mouse, since it's a smaller data set, the whole of all of these numbers, the summary of all of those numbers with all of the columns. So we could also do that for zip. It's going to be a lot though. So let's see, let's just to see it. Come on. Yeah. So for all of the columns, it gives you the 6 numbers that you would need for a box plot. Now you'll notice in some of these columns, like the USDA food desert and the party affiliation, that it doesn't give you the numbers. It instead gives you the length, the class, and the mode. So what's important here is the class is character. So we can only take the summary statistics of numbers, right? So this shows us that the character type is invalid for the numbers that you're trying to call. So this leads into different kinds of data types in R. The main ones that we want to talk about now are numeric, integer, and character. So character is just, as you see in USDA food desert, it is just when letters are used and it's a non-numeric value. So over here in USDA food desert, in Met Mike Ruhr, in party affiliation, all of those are going to be character values. The next one is going to be numeric values. So those are typically numbers that contain decimals. So the population density and let's see, the poverty rate ones, these both contain decimals. So those are going to be considered numeric values. And the last one that we want to talk about is integer values, which are numbers without decimals. So let's see, we have supermarkets over here. When it has absolutely no decimals, when there's no chance of there being a decimal, that is going to be an integer value. If the variable doesn't have decimals, R will automatically set the data type to integers instead of numeric. So there's the delineation there. Let's see. If we want to find out what kind of data type each of our columns are in, we can call something called str, which is short for structure, and then our data. So in this case, it'll show you all of the columns and the data types that we have here. So we have name, which is character, ID, which is integer, population density, which is numeric. And this will come in handy because some of the things that you can do with integers or numeric values you can't use with character values. So just make sure you're familiar with the different kinds of data types in your within your data. So if we were to find the structure of mouse, it'll show us integer and then numeric. Once again, integer, no decimals, numeric does have decimals. Now the last thing I want to show you is how to create variables from data that we have imported. So let's say we want to create a variable called, let's say, poverty, because we're going to be working with this column here, poverty rate. So we're going to call the name poverty and then make that little arrow. And then from here, we're going to do kind of like what we did up here with the $sign. So we're going to take the the name of the data, $sign, and then poverty _ rate. Once again, make sure that your column name looks the same as it does up here. So we're going to press enter on that. And that has created a variable called poverty with all of the values in this column. So that'll come in handy if you want to create some plots or if you wanted to do some sort of computations later on down the line with like a certain value within a column. And that'll come in handy later. So in the next video, I'll show you a little bit more on how to play with the data and how to create some plots with the data. And then we'll go from there. but just to recap, this has been a video on different data types and how to call some of the basic commands in R, as well as how to upload a CSV file.